Hey guys, so I'm finally up here. It is February 18th. Oh my god, I've lost track of time, but it's the middle of February and this is my first ride to the top. I'm on my Escar Hayduke with the 275 plus tires and wheels, obviously, and some super wide rims. So what I've done in this set is these are the Terravel durable Cumberlands. So Cumberland is the model of this, and it has a real shaved down tread design in the center and then more aggressive on the edges. And I don't have the cush core in there, which is unusual. And then in the front I have those Kenda Havoc Pros, which balloon up really big. They have super tall sidewalls, and those are that has a rim packed, that spongy tire insert in there. And so I cut out like a V channel in the middle of that rim packed to give it a little more volume. So today I want to talk about something that I've been watching Steve on Hardtail Party, and I watched one of his old videos, and he was mentioning that he doesn't think that a tire insert is the best thing for a hardtail. You want that additional volume in your tires. And I'm going to take the argument on this. I think that you can put a tire insert, but you have to know why you're putting the tire insert, and you have to do it only when you're I would say a tire insert when you're using tires that are the softer and lighter casing, not the durable casing. So I don't have a tire insert in back because it's the durable casing, and because I want that extra volume inside my wheel. And when you have a hardtail, that volume is your suspension. So and I understand his argument that tire inserts are better for full suspension because you can have a full suspension ramp up faster because you have a shock, and you have the shock taking up that, that extra. When it ramps all the way up and bottoms out, then obviously your shock is taking that bump, and that vibration is resonating to the shock. But I want to say that, and this is why I use steel or titanium frames as opposed to carbon or aluminum. And then I feel that having a tire insert with my steel or titanium frame kind of adds to the feel, because yes, it's ramping up faster, but because that frame allows that vibration to resonate through it. Oh man, that hit my finger, that hurt. So it's pretty overgrown and pretty rough right now. So excuse me while I ride. This is a kind of a technical section. And that's the second part of this video I'm going to talk about. So first part is, should you use tire inserts when you have a hardtail? And the second part is, why a hardtail when you're riding trails that are pretty chunky like my trails. El Prieto Trail is considered a black diamond level trail, and it's pretty chunky, pretty technical. I'm not sure what this section of Upper Brown is considered, but it's got some chunk, and it's got some really fast rolling sections, but not too many switchbacks. So it's basically you're the technical aspect of it is you're exposed. It's on the edge a little bit, and you just got random rocks that roll off the side of the mountain into the trail, because that's what these mountains are. They're meant to kind of crumble and decompose. That's why California, Southern California especially, has these beautiful sandy beaches that, because of this decomposed granite that makes its way down to the beach. Anyway, woo! So having these nice balloon tires on this chunk and this sandy stuff on a hardtail kind of feels nice. Definitely adds to the flavor. So the question is it really worth it to get a hardtail where you're spending money on a hardtail with a nice box fork and nice XT level components, XT brakes or XT derailleur and carbon bars and stuff like that? Is it really worth it spending that when you could probably get a full suspension? Obviously it's not going to have the higher end fork or the higher end shock. It's definitely not going to have the higher end wheels that I built up, although these rims are really cheap, but the hubs are really nice, the brakes are nice, stuff like that. So let's just give it a number. Is it worth it spending $3K on a hardtail when you could spend $3K on a full suspension? And my argument is that you could probably have just as much fun on a hardtail depending on where you live and how aggressive those trails are. And if you've spent $3K on $3,000 on a full suspension, you're not going to be smashing stuff and feeling like that bike is going to inspire any confidence anyway as a full suspension, even if you have 140 millimeter travel front and rear. Maybe you have a 130 rear, 140 front, or 140, 150, whatever. For $3K, it's going to be such a lower tier of shock and components. The wheel set, the handlebars, everything. And how I compensate and make my hardtails feel softer and feel more compliant on this rough terrain is one of the things I've always done is I've stuck with the 31/8 stem and handlebar diameter, just because I feel like the carbon bars at that smaller diameter give you a little flex. I can feel flex in it just pushing down on it right now, and that helps take off some of the edge. Of course, I have that nice Fox factory fork up front. Now this isn't the super high-end factory with the grip 2, but it's a factory with a fit 4, and it's great. I like it. I didn't see any reason to get the grip 2 for the fact that I'm not going to be the one tinkering with my fork anyway. I'm a set it and forget it guy, and I probably haven't looked at the air pressure or looked at how many clicks of of compression dampening I have on this fork since I had it serviced from Fox and set it up after that. So that's the other thing too. Are you going to be the person that's really going to go in and master your setup and tinkering with your shocks? Because as a full suspension, you have front and rear shock to tinker with. So that's another consideration. Do you spend that much time riding? I mean, I ride a lot. I'm probably on the extreme end of riding a lot. I've been the local legend on this trail for many parts of the year, and I have probably rode it historically at the top, easily the top 10 ever of this trail. And local legend is the most rides over 90 days, and so I got that local legend several times just because I did have a mission to try to do a full month of riding up to the top every day, and I didn't get that full month in, but I did get, I think 1 month I got about 18 days of the month riding up to the saddle. And so I push myself to get the extra rides in, but it's what I do, it's what I like to do, and this is in my backyard. So I'm on the extreme end of someone who could possibly spend time tinkering with my full suspension setup, but I just stuck with a hardtail. And I think a lot of it is the simplicity, and a lot of it is I like that a hardtail is easy to climb with. I feel that when I was riding a full suspension that it just didn't climb as well as any of my hardtails, even my slackest with the steepest C-tube angle, with, although the S-cars aren't known for a steep C-tube angle. I think anything over 75 is kind of ridiculous anyway, but I'm fine with 74, 75. That's just me. So that's another thing. I just feel like the immediate pedal push forward feeling of a hardtail is never going to be replicated with even the best lockouts and the best full suspensions. And that just, now that's based on my limited experience. Some of you guys might have more experience and feel like, no, I have this transition spur that just feels great, and more power to you. But I've never rode that bike, or a Niner, Rip 9 or whatever, Jet 9. I haven't rode the newer XC bikes, and I probably never will, just because an XC full suspension bike, it's just not on my radar. I have no need and no desire to ride that type of bike. So here we're coming up to the last gnarliest section of the trail, and I'm going to take it a little bit slow because I haven't been riding regularly, and I'm cognizant of the fact that my skills aren't as sharp as when I ride every day, when I was riding every day. And I've got to fucking work on, well, Tuesday, Monday's a holiday, taking the weekend off, not working my third or fourth job. I have 4 jobs, you guys, so I got a lot of work. But I work 2 jobs regular on the week, and because I work during the day and in the evening, and then I was working weekends, but I took this weekend off. So here's the steepest section. Hello, just me. Right there at the lake, at the section where I like to go to the bathroom. Oh well. Anyway, so there you have it. I think a hardtail is the way to go, personally.